What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Line of the Stars. I'm Jordan, and we're back today with another episode of the DeAgostini Millennium Falcon from Fanhome, and a big damn mess. Now, I've got, after almost 2 years, it's been almost 2 years since I started working on Partworks models. I've developed a system of storing the parts and keeping all the extra stuff together. And for this model, let's just say that I'm several weeks ahead right now of recording bits than you guys are actually seeing right now. So I think as of recording, episode 50 just dropped this last week. And so, this is episode 54, if I'm not mistaken. So 3 episodes ago, I really love building this model. Okay, so all of that to say, I've gotten a lot done and I'm a little ahead, but with all of the parts collecting that I do, sometimes you wind up with stages where the packages just are kind of bad. I went to go grab stage 80 and everything fell out. Like literally the entire package, the entire bottom fell out. I need to go through and in between, like when I do my, we'll start on stage 80 next, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to need to take a look to separate all the parts out and make sure that I have everything where I need, including screws, because a bunch of the screws had fallen out of the, these two packages have created chaos, and I'm really glad to actually get them out of the box because I've been kind of futzing around with these for the last couple of months. So, that being said, we're on to stage 80. Yeah, 80%. We're at 80%. We're on to stage 80 and 81 of this build. And let's go ahead and move on to stage 80. And I'm going to try to figure out this mess here. All right. After a couple minutes of trying to figure all that out, I got it figured out, kind of read through the instructions. Everything's kind of like a little janky. And all right. So anyway, we have 3 frame sections. And so let's go ahead and get these opened and out. And get our next one. Good. We have a sprue, and this sprue in the first part of stage 80, they have us kind of putting a lot of these details on. And as I mentioned before, I'm not going to be putting any of these pipe details on until after we have completed the painting phase. We're going to paint these with the rest on sprue and basically get them, I know painting on sprue, but we're going to paint them on sprue so that they're all evenly colored, and then we'll go ahead and add them to the ship after the main painting is taken care of, as I want to make sure that I don't have pipes sitting over the top of panels that are going to be grayscaled or red or what have you. So we're going to go ahead and set that off the side with the other sprues. So we're going to be skipping a kind of a portion of this step today, or stage, so to say. We do have our whole panel section here, and then we have our 4-hole connectors. There are also 2 parts of the assembly jig, and so I went ahead and grabbed one of the bottom pieces that we had already taken a look at before. And so this is what you set down in whatever space you have. And then from there, you're going to set it like this. And then to support the mandible, what you're going to do is you're going to basically put this on there and then put it up just like so. So if we look from the side, kind of see what that looks like over here. Sorry for the camera being a little glitchy. Got a bad USB cable over there. Need to get it replaced. So that's what that assembly looks like. We already have the other bottom for this, and we're ready to go. Here in the coming episodes, in probably the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to have to look at seeing how to get the box laid out so we can actually do assembly in it, because we're coming up towards the end, my friends. All right, excellent. So I'm going to set that off to the side, and we have some 4-hole connectors. Now, I need to grab some black button screws, and then we will be ready to go. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at our magazine. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. There we go. Talking about the atmospheric assault lander. You guys may have seen this most recently in season 1, I believe, of The Mandalorian, or season 2, with Boba Fett. It was season 2. on the episode The Rescue. Or no, The Crisis. There we go. And then we got some First Order Stormtroopers. You can tell from the masks and then the red shoulder, whatever you want to call that. And as always, if you do want to read the magazines, do pause so you can read along. Talking about our next parts, talking about where they're going to go, they would have us put all of these parts onto the mandible here, but we're going to go ahead and hold off until assembly and paint is complete before we get into the weathering phase. So where we're going to be starting today is going to be assembling the port mandible, as we're moving on to, gosh, this is crazy. If I do everything right today with my recording, I will actually finish the port mandible, when it's going to be several episodes ahead. But yeah, it's going to be pretty close to being done. And then they're going to have us talking about supporting the mandibles. I'm not going to be worrying about this right now. I don't want to mess with it if I don't have to. I don't want to be tempted to try to hook it up. I want to try to get both assembled. And then when we move on into the 90s, I believe is where it is, or even the late 80s, in the stage-wise, we'll go ahead and get our mandibles assembled. So let's go ahead and get started on. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do as we did in the last couple of episodes. We're going to go ahead and start with laying out our pieces the way that they're laid out on the instructions. Just like that. And just like that. Excellent. Now, kind of assuming and inferring based on what we've already done, they're going to be 2-hole, 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 2-hole. There are 4 of them. Excellent. So that'll be the 2-hole connectors. I've got a bunch of our screws out on the table. Grab a couple of them. Just remagnetize my screwdriver, so we'll see how this goes. Set this down over the top. And get all these affixed into place. So, I'm going to go ahead and take care of all 4 of these 2-hole connectors, and I will be right back. All right, so now I'm getting the last 2-hole connector put in place. Kind of like being able to kind of just build without having to look at the instructions sometimes. That probably was like 13 steps or something like that. Let's take a look. See, how many steps was that? That was 8 steps. So, yeah, I just don't... If you've done this a couple times now on this build, you kind of know what you're doing. It's the stuff where you're not quite sure where everything's going. It's like, okay, yeah, handhold me through it, but do a better job than you do. Anyway, there we go. There's our frame section all put in place. Excellent. Now, very simply, for the end of this stage, we're going to go ahead and turn this over, and I'm going to need to grab some of my silver self-tapping screws. Get all these screws off the table. And we're going to put this whole panel section in place. And these screw packs definitely fell out of my out into the box, and then I just wound up putting them in here. And if I'm not mistaken, it would be, where are you? This was this package right here. So, instead, however, let's go ahead and just grab some, because we're going to need a bunch of these for today. So let's just grab a pack for now. We're doing a bunch of building on the Falcon, and I'm super excited about that. It's going to be a fun day. As I get in towards the 90s, and God, I think I might have to wait a little bit to paint. Kind of crazy. All right, so now what we're going to do, very simply, take our mounting lugs here, okay? And then they're going to fit into these holes there. You want to make sure that they're sitting flush and down. And all the way in. Sometimes you might have to snap them in place. Okay. Then we're going to use 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go to get those installed. All right. And our last screw is going into place for stage 84 now. We're going to be doing, we're going to be revisiting a bunch of stages as we get towards the end of the build. As, once again, we need to paint up individual sections and then get our greebles put in place. And so there is our whole panel section taken care of. the beginning of the port side mandible has begun. I gotta say, man, this is pretty cool. I like building this little section. So let's go ahead and move on to stage 81, and let's get some more work done, shall we? Do a little bit of greeblies. All right, so here's stage 81. Let's go ahead and take a look at the magazine first. So we have the Hyena class bomber. This was part of the Confederate arsenal. It was droid fighters. Very cool looking ship. Very Cylon for sure. Talking more about what they're able to do. They're both an air and ground assault vehicle, which is really, really cool. Talking about a little bit about Battle or Hoth. Talking about Lando. And then our next parts. So we're going to be getting another whole panel section, another frame section, and then we're going to be getting a couple of our recesses, and we're going to be go ahead and getting our greeblies put into place before getting them installed, I believe. Yep, we're going to go ahead and get them installed. We're not going to paint as they want us to do because that is not screen accurate, as this model will be screen accurate. So we're going to go ahead and get those installed and complete the top half, I believe, of the recess. And so let's go ahead and take a look at our parts, which we've already kind of looked at a little bit. But in here, we'll just go ahead and slide everything out. That's 81 complete. Here's our whole frame. Very good. We have our greeblies. Lots of cool detail in there. Not a whole lot, but some. We have our maintenance recesses. Very cool. And then we have a whole frame section. So let's go ahead and... Do we even need to open this? I don't think so. But I opened the whole frame section anyway. So here we are. All right. So where we're going to start today is by building the recesses here. So let's find number 3 is going to be this one, and number 4. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and separate all of my parts off of the sprue, get them cleaned up and ready to go, and when we come back, we'll go ahead and get everything assembled. All right, so got my parts all cleaned up and ready to go. We're going to go ahead and start with recess number 4, but we're going to call it recess number 2. So now it's, they call it 3 and 4 over here, whatever. So this is 1 and 2. We're going to start with number 2 and start with part number 1 for part number 2. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and install it into these 2 circular mounting lugs on these 2 posts right there on the back. So grab my glue tool. Got plenty of glue for today. Me doing lots of gluing, lots of greeblies. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit of a bead here and just along the back. Like that. Get it mounted into place. Just like so. Just stuck myself in the model. There you go. Oh, did it again. There you go, Eric. Has a lot of glue got through over it. I say I don't do this anymore, guys. I super 100% do. Good Lord. This thing is sticky. Good Lord. All right. Now that I'm done, I say, let's go ahead and grab part number 2, which is going to be, I need to use a pair of tweezers for this. And it's going to be this part, this little detail right here, a little pipe. And that is going to fit in. So you see that there's a hole there, and then a hole there, back and front. So I'm going to start with, Lord, it's all super sticky back there. I'm going to dip. Nothing. Jordan. Getting all frazzled because the glue's all back there. All right, just don't stick to my desk. Okay, we're good. I'm going to start by sticking this piece in at a bit of an angle. And then pushing that down and in. And then straightening it out. There we go. Awesome. All right, so now we're going to switch over to recess 1, and then we're going to grab part number 3, which is going to be this detail right here, and it's going to fit in just like that, I believe. Oh, I see. So it's going to fit in with the little raised detail pointing out. And that one, just right here, is going to go into that slot right there. So what I'm going to do, get my glue on the part, and on the back. Not on the part, but on the lug, not on the back. I'm going to put this in at an angle and get it in. There we go. Excellent. Grab part number 4, which looks like that. Okay. And very similarly, we're going to put that right in that lug mounting hole. Same thing as before. Huh? All flingy. And a little on the back here. Don't need a whole lot. Just enough to make sure it stays. Get that plugged in. Yep. Sticking myself. There we go. Very good. All right. Now, part number 5 is going to go into that slot right there. For that, same thing. A little glue on the mounting lug. A little on the back. Just to kind of hold it in place. And in. No. There we go. Excellent. And let's turn the page here. Part number 6, which is going to be this sprocket thing. That is going to fit in right in that little mounting lug right there. There we go. Just like so. Very cool. All right. Simple. Some greebles put in. Once again, the number of greebles on this model is going to be kind of insane. So, kind of nice to be able to kind of complete that and not have too many to do. Just 6 pieces isn't too bad. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab our whole frame. And what we're going to do, line this up. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. We're going to go ahead and get those mounted up. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, last screw's going in place. Excellent. There we are. Very cool. Now, I believe we're going to need some of the brass self-tapping screws. Yep, that package that I showed you was definitely the one because I had a few of the black screws, a few of the brass self-tapping screws. So I'm going to go ahead and pull. Nope, those are the long ones. I'm going to grab a short package here and get these out. There are 4 of them. Excellent. There are. All right. Now, we're going to turn this over just like this. And this is recess 1, and this is recess 2. So recess 2 is going to go in the forward position like this. I want to make sure that that's lining up properly on the other side. That looks right. That's correct. So then using just a couple of brass self-tapping screws, screw the recess into place. Excellent. There we go. Super cool. All right, and then I want to put this with the circular detail facing towards the back like this. Do that same thing again. A couple more self-tapping brass screws. And I keep saying that this model is pre-threaded. It is not pre-threaded. We're just using self-tapping screws. That's why we don't need to use the 3-in-1. Suppose if you're having a tough screw to get in, and you check the fitment of everything, do use the 3-in-1 oil. Why not? It helps you use it in. All right. And there we are. That, my friends, is the end of stage 81. And we got the first half of our port side mandible taken care of. When we move on, we're going to go ahead and take care of assembling the bottom half and basically doing the same thing. So that's what I got for you guys today. And I just want to say thank you. I know that there was a million things y'all could have done today. And instead you spent a couple minutes with me watching me build a model. And I think that's pretty damn cool. If you guys have any questions or comments, tips, tricks, please leave them down below. Like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And my friends, until we see each other again, I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world where we happen to be. And just remember that this is the way.